Do you find that affirmations just don't feel true? You feel like you're lying to yourself, but everybody's telling you. You have to do your affirmations. You have to reprogram your subconscious mind so that you can see those things come to life in your external world. But your internal world is saying, that's a lie. That's not true. We know better. Well, what if I told you that affirmations don't work when they contradict your internal state? You would say, well, isn't that the whole point of doing them? To change my internal state? That's not the way you change your internal state. Affirmations can work, but only if they align with your internal state. So the question isn't making your affirmations work, it's how to tweak your internal state to match your affirmations so that they work. How do you do that? Stick around, I'll explain. There's a very specific process that will help you align to your affirmations so that they actually do you good, so that they actually start to condition your subconscious mind to reflect and become that very thing that you're wanting to affirm. Our intentions are very, very powerful. We see it all the time. Oh, I knew that would happen when something bad happens, right? Or when something good happens, we say, oh, I knew it. I knew that would happen. Well, part of the reason it happened likely is that your intention, your emotional pull to it was so strong that it almost didn't have a choice. So how can we make our affirmations that are our intentions, that are our goals, are our wishes, our dreams, how can we make them be powerful enough to present in our outside world, to help our dreams come to fruition? How do we do that? The first thing we have to do is say them, right? We say our affirmation. Then we have to stop and listen. We have to listen because our body is communicating with us. It's communicating in two ways. It's talking to us. It says, that's not true. That's a lie. No, you're not. It's doing that to you as you're saying it. I'm wildly successful. No, you're not. Not yet. Not happening. Not you. Right? The other thing is it's giving you a physical response. So all of a sudden my stomach's twisting because it's like, I know it's not true. It's like I'm telling a lie. So it's like, no, you're not, stomach twist. Now I have to ask what that response means. What are you communicating to me with this resistance? Because I'm feeling resistance. I'm resisting it mentally and I'm resisting it physically and really energetically too, because your physical and your energy are the same. They're not expressed in the same place. One is your energy body and one is your physical body, but they go together. They're fully connected, or they should be. So you say, I wonder why this communication's happening. What is it trying to tell me? You have to ask and you have to be willing to explore that. So once you get that communication, once you ask that question, you have to dig a little deeper. Maybe that communication is saying, this is too big. I can't even fathom what you're saying. I want to be a millionaire. I have no money. How can I imagine having that much money? That much money is not even in my universe. Maybe I need to focus on having $1,000. Start there. Well, that's not enough. I can't do anything with $1,000. But $1,000 doesn't make you contract. $1 million makes you contract, but 1,000 doesn't. 1,000 feels safe. 1,000 feels doable. That's what you need to do first. You need evidence that this kind of thing can work. And you do that by not jumping into the 10 feet, learning to swim, but jumping into the 3 feet. 3 feet is much less intimidating than the 10 feet. Sure, if you can swim in the 10 feet just as well, but subconsciously, it's scary. The 10 feet is scary. So start in the 3 feet. Start with something that feels easy. That's what you start with. You build your confidence. It's too big, or it's not you. You're not that kind of person. Those people over there, they're the kind of people that have that. You're not that kind of person. Maybe you think people that have $1 million are uppity or snobby or selfish or greedy. Maybe you have some preconceived notions of people with a lot of money. So you need to reflect and say, how much money I have doesn't change who I am. My decisions, my outward expression says who I am, not having. Having is neutral. What I do with my having, what I do with my receiving, that is the difference. It's kind of like if you take a test. Take a test, you get an F. And you say, it's this pencil. This pencil is the problem. If I didn't have this pencil, this test would have been great. I would have had an A. That's ridiculous. It's as ridiculous as saying, if I have a lot of money, I'm going to be a jerk like them. When we judge others, we are actually projecting onto them judgment of ourselves. So we have to step back from judgment of others and say, first of all, I'm going to let go of all of the judgment I have about people with money. Millionaires, I'm going to say that I don't know them. I'm sure they're very nice people. I'm sure they worked very hard for their money. And I have no judgment. I just have goodwill towards them. That's the first step. That second step is saying, how do I see myself? I see myself as a hard worker. I see myself as deserving of having the fruits of that hard work. I see myself as someone who is going to be a good steward of that money. The money itself is neutral. I need to work on my perception of other people with money, and I need to work on how I see myself. Do I see myself as a good or bad person based on how much I make or what I do with my money? Is that too big? Is that not who I am? That is a possible answer to what is this feeling telling me? Another question that you have to ask is number 4 is to ask why. Why do I feel that way? We just went over some of the possibilities as far as like digging a little deeper into the what. Like, what is this feeling telling me? Well, it can be telling me a number of things, but why is it telling me that? Is there a past experience that we had? Maybe with a wealthy person that put a bad taste in our mouths? Maybe is it the media we've seen that we get this impression that if you have a lot of money, this is the kind of person you become? Is it a certain environment? Like maybe we've read a lot of stories in the Bible about, the money is the root of all evil, all of these things, but do we really understand the context? One of the other possible whys are maybe you're afraid of being seen. The whys could be a number of things. It can be that identity mismatch of that's not the kind of person I am. I'm not the kind of person to have $1 million. I don't have the resources to get to the point you have to have money to make money. There could be a lot of reasons why you would have resistance. What would cause that feeling? What would cause that feeling? Why that feeling would be there? The 5th and final question here that you need to ask is, do I really want to change this? You may have resistance that's protective. You may not need to change it. Some things like, I have a booked out practice, or I'm wildly successful. Maybe I don't have the time, the energy, the resources to be those things. Maybe they're not really necessary. Maybe I need a bridge affirmation. Toning it down, making it feel safe, allowing it to feel true. It's like true plus 1, because if it's true, it doesn't really help us, right? We're not going to affirm something that's already happening. We're going to move on. We want to say something that's true plus 1. So we're going to say it and we're going to up the ante just a bit. So it's like maybe 1,000 feels good because I'm not making 1,000 yet, but it doesn't feel like such an astronomical number. So you do 1,000, but then you're like, 2,000 feels okay. I'm going to do 2,000. And so you just keep going from that standpoint. So you would do a bridge. You may even say something like, more people are discovering my work every day. I make more in my business every month. These are all nice bridge affirmations that feel safe, that feel true, but are true plus 1. I hope you love this video today. If you do, like and subscribe and make me a comment below and tell me all about areas that you have tried affirmations and they didn't work. And you tried and tried and tried. You said it and said it and said it, drilled it in. But then maybe now you're looking at it in a different way and you're like, you know what? I'm going to amend my affirmation to this because this feels aligned. This feels good. So let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you.